the gossip mill in Atlanta has erupted once more, and the whispers are more intense, louder, and intimate than they have ever been. What began as a hazy rumor on a live webcast late at night has now descended into a full-fledged social media frenzy as enthusiasts analyzed each post, like, and mysterious emotion. The conversation, a startling turn of events involving Yandy Smith, Erica Mena, and Mendeecees, three names that have been combined amid years of love, devotion, and heartache. Insiders claim that even the most devoted admirers are now split and perplexed, due to an unanticipated shift in the balance of trust. Did Mendeecees cross an irreversible line? Or is all of this a miscommunication made worse by the spotlight of celebrity? As timelines overflow, emotions are running dangerously high due to conjecture and the buzz of theories in group discussions. Old interviews are coming up again, screenshots are being shared, and the vibe on the internet feels like the serenity before a tempest of emotions. Everyone is looking for answers, but in the realm of reality stars, the truth is rarely free. We're breaking tonight, recording every aspect of this developing drama, separating the reality from the madness, and posing the question that everyone is too scared to voice out. How much of this love will remain after the cameras stop filming and the filters are removed? How much is only for the show, and is it real? The instant rumors become receipts. The internet nearly stopped. According to reports, Mendeecees gave Erica Mena a brand new, opulent flat as a surprise. Fans were astounded by what they saw in one of Atlanta's most upscale skyscrapers, after Erica was shown inspecting the opulent penthouse in a widely shared TikTok. The story went viral, with captions suggesting it was a unique present from an unexpected source. Her enthusiasm was evident in every frame. In a matter of hours, fan accounts, blogs, and gossip pages saturated the timeline with side-by-side comparisons, conjecturing about relationships, dates, and the true meaning of this ostentatious act. Was it a business move, a sign of friendship, or something far more profound? Difficult. The flat itself appeared to represent more than just real estate. It stood for devotion, status, and possibly unsaid feelings. In order to corroborate the location, social media investigators went into overdrive, examining fixtures, furniture, and even the skyline view from Erica's Instagram story. Yandy's name started to trend in the meantime. Fans wanted to know almost quickly if she was aware of this or had been caught off guard like everyone else. You could feel the tension in the comment areas. Mendeecees was defended by others who claimed that giving is not illegal. He was accused by others of violating limits. And throughout it all, Erica remained quiet, sharing encouraging sayings, gentle smiles, and just enough uncertainty to keep everyone guessing. One question reverberated across all platforms, and silence spoke louder than words. Was this a gesture of goodwill or a spark capable of destroying everything they had created? When Yandy Smith received the news, it was not only shocking but also devastating. The woman suddenly found herself at the center of a betrayal she never anticipated. Despite having formed her life around loyalty, trust, and shared struggle, according to people close to her, she originally discovered the surprise flat in the same manner as everyone else, through a social media video that repeatedly played on her phone until shock gave way to destruction. Friends say she sits quietly, looking over comments, unable to comprehend how anything so intimate could be made public. Her internal feelings fluctuated between uncertainty, sadness, and rage. She allegedly confided to a close friend, "After everything we've been through, how could he act in such a way without even telling me?" Those words conveyeth burden of years of collaboration, selflessness, and unwritten commitments. It was more than just a piece of land for Yandy. It had to do with principle, communication, as well as the calm respect that two people who have endured so much together ought to have. Insiders claim she didn't get any sleep that night. No one responded to the messages. Calls went unanswered. The public saw her as cool-headed and collected, but she was now battling a personal tempest that may destroy everything she had worked so hard to achieve. Reassuring her that the internet never presents the whole picture, her inner group came together to support her. However, Yandy was unable to get rid of the sensation that there had been a fundamental shift. Every word of encouragement and every grin in the pictures seemed more forced and weighty. The following morning, she arrived at her commitments as usual, perfect on the outside but shattered on the inside. Her professionalism was captured by cameras. The pain concealed behind her eyes was invisible to most. She wasn't merely asking Mendeecees questions. No longer, while everyone else was too preoccupied with the concert to notice. She wondered if the basis of their relationship had silently crumbled. The flat at the center of this dispute wasn't your typical Atlanta property, perched high above the skyline, encased in whispers and glass. It was a work of luxury. Marble floors shone beneath designer chandeliers, and floor-to-ceiling windows offered stunning views of the city lights. The room exuded exclusivity in every way. Italian furniture that was imported, fixtures with gold accents, and a walk-in closet large enough to have its own zip code. It was more than an apartment. It was a declaration. It hurt even more because it was the sort that stated, "You've made it, and you belong to a different world now." Yandy wasn't envious of the opulence. It had to do with symbolism. What was the true meaning of this gift? For her, it was more of a reminder that boundaries had been crossed somewhere along the way than a sign of kindness. Social media fans were also unable to stop deciphering the deeper meaning. Was Mendeecees attempting to conceal a deeper guilt or demonstrate his success? Was Erica's joy a sincere celebration or a subdued message to someone who had once stood by her side in love and devotion? The flat became into more than just a piece of property. It turned into a platform where pride, history, and feelings clashed. Additionally, as the images circulated across, the people saw more than just chandeliers and furnishings on the internet. They witnessed secrets concealed behind pricey walls, betrayal packaged in opulence, and a present that might be even more expensive than its market worth. The anxiety started to spread much beyond the three names at the heart of the storm as the days went by. Friends who had previously gone on vacations, meals, and business trips together, they were abruptly forced to take sides in a drama that everyone had private opinions on but no one wanted to be involved in. Yandy's closest friends became protective and told her to concentrate on her work and refrain from contributing to the online narrative that was taking off. However, the discussions were honest and passionate behind closed doors. "It's about the disrespect. The way I found out," an insider sobbed, "about the apartment." In the meantime, a few pals sought to remain impartial, claiming that social media was distorting the facts and that there had to be a reason. Nevertheless, rumors started circulating about people unfollowing one another, group chats becoming separated, and longtime even family members, who had always been outspoken in their support of the couple, were affected by the disintegration of alliances. The once close-knit atmosphere around Yandy and Mendeecees began to feel strained with each appearance as they began posting cryptic messages about loyalty and truth, which fueled even more conjecture. People who had applauded Erica's new chapter now doubted her intentions, wondering whether she had entered a storm she didn't want to be in. The quiet was scrutinized like a news release. Didn't plan to begin. Beneath the glossy social media grins, there were awkward interactions at events, tense phone conversations, and the ongoing stress of knowing that millions of people were watching every move. What had started out as a private miscommunication had now turned into a public spectacle, and everyone involved was discovering the hard way that in the world, Mena felt herself torn between quiet and self-defense, as the internet erupted with hypotheses and criticism. From her point of view, the flat was intended to be a symbol of independence and hard-won accomplishment, not to cause drama. According to people close to Erica, sought a place that represented her development and goals, because she had been working on multiple business initiatives in Atlanta. When Mendeecees intervened to help make it happen, she didn't think Erica was hesitant to accept, but she didn't anticipate the media turning the gesture into a controversy. Despite the increasing volume of articles, Erica maintained her composure and made the decision to subtle tweets rather than outright answers. A few hearty emoticons here. A motivating statement, there are enough to provoke thought but not conflict. According to insiders, she was taken aback by the criticism and hurt that her enthusiasm for a new chapter was being interpreted as provocation. In private, she tried to set the record straight and reassured everyone that there was no secret agenda. No covert activity, just uncontextual. Thankfulness, but by that point, the story had already taken on a life of its own. Every item of clothing she wore, every caption she wrote, was fans examined her tone, location tags, and even the color of her walls, as if they were hints. But Erica remained steadfast. "People will believe what they want," she reportedly told pals, refusing to allow rumors to change her story. "All I can do is move with grace." However, beneath that grace was fatigue. The kind that results from having your reality overpowered by everyone else's interpretation of it. The tension between Yandy and Mendeecees had escalated to the point of half-read messages and unanswered calls. So the silence between them couldn't last long, were insufficient. After avoiding the subject for days, Yandy finally approached him one evening. And what had started off as a calm talk swiftly devolved into an intense explosion that no camera could catch in its entirety. "Mendeecees, you got her an apartment?" With a voice that wavered between incredulity and rage. She asked without even Mendeecees was taken aback by her tone and attempted to clarify that it wasn't what she meant when she mentioned it to me. The words hung in the air like a verdict, heavy and unavoidable. It appeared as though he was merely assisting Erica with a business-related investment opportunity. But Yandy found the explanation to be "It's not about money," she remarked. "It's about openness and respect." As both voices rose, the argument spiraled, with each syllable delving deeper into long-standing issues about trust and communication. According to insiders, that night lasted into the wee hours of the morning and was filled with long, agonizing silences, accusations, and tears. Following that confrontation, the tension spilt into their private communications. Screenshots that were later made public online revealed snippets of their exchanges, with Mendeecees writing things such, "You're reading it too thoroughly. You keep giving people reasons to doubt you." Yandy retorted. Friends who attempted to mediate stated it wasn't only about the flat any longer. It had turned into a mirror for all the unresolved issues in their relationship, bringing back old grudges and unhealed wounds, reopened, and both parties found it difficult to find the appropriate words to re-establish confidence. In the meantime, Erica's name kept coming up in every headline and group conversation. And despite her efforts to remain out of the issue, she was unable to avoid the fallout. According to reports, Yandy's friends messaged her directly, questioning why she hadn't intervened sooner to provide clarification, while Erica said she had little control over how people saw the incident. Everyone involved made an effort to keep matters private in the days that followed. But leaks, that was made difficult by rumors and exclusive insider information. By the end of the week, what ought to have been a private dispute had become public entertainment, fuel for reaction videos, gossip channels and podcasts, analyzing every word. And in the midst of it all, were three people who were worn out by the cacophony, each of them silently wondering if there was any way to make things right. The internet had officially gone crazy by the time the confrontation spilt and the screenshots appeared on blogs. Every major gossip page from the Shade had already been smashed in front of millions of people. After posting about the situation, Room to Hollywood Unlocked saw hashtags like Jar Yandy Conflict, Dar Erica Giftgate, and Mendeecees mess trend on Twitter within hours. Spaces were packed overnight as fans had live arguments, scrutinizing every detail like forensic specialists. Some backed Mendeecees, arguing that others were exaggerating and misrepresenting his TikTok. Producers used voiceovers and memes to reenact the argument, converting pain into content, while others firmly supported Yandy, calling the gesture offensive and emotionally tone-deaf. Video received millions of views. Even celebrities began to comment, with some expressing sorrow and others making cryptic remarks that only increased conjecture. YouTubers analyzed text tone, body language, and even timestamps, framing their videos with headlines such as "Did Mendeecees truly betray Yandy?" And fans filled the trio's Instagram comment sections with thousands of comments, some kind and some harsh. While Erica's recent photo contained a secret message, Yandy's personal life was front page news every time she checked her phone, and the digital cacophony was oppressive. Mendeecees remained largely silent, which only made matters worse. While Erica appeared to accept the mayhem with grace, sharing thoughtfully chosen pictures that kept everyone wondering, the whole thing had progressed from rumor to a societal phenomenon as silence began to make its own type of statement. Moment about loyalty, perception, and the ease with which social media can transform personal suffering into public amusement. Commentators started to wonder about the limits of celebrity itself, wondering how much of this was genuine and how much was being heightened by the audience's desire for drama. Everyone was curious about who would talk next, who was lying, and who was correct. Yet nobody stopped to take into account the psychological cost of the viral spectacle. As the memes continued to circulate and the responses intensified, it became evident that once the internet transforms, there is no simple way to turn sadness into a headline. Quiet attempts at reconciliation began after weeks of commotion, when the clamor had subsided enough to breathe. Behind the scenes, Yandy, still in pain, consented to have a private meeting with Mendeecees, away from social media and cameras, in the hopes of receiving genuine answers, face-to-face rather than through public narratives. According to insiders, the conversation was full of emotional candor and lengthy pauses, and Mendeecees acknowledged he should have handled things differently, admitting that keeping things a secret had caused needless suffering. Yandy listened, her face gentle but wary, still not sure if the apology was sincere or simply damage management. "It's not about the gift anymore," she whispered to him. "It's about how easily you forgot I'd have to deal with the aftermath." This time there was no yelling or slammed doors, just two people attempting to manage a trust that had been shattered by the burden of celebrity. In the days that followed, mutual friends intervened to act as a mediator, reminding them that their relationship had weathered worse storms in the past. Little gestures started to show up, including flowers delivered to Yandy's door, old pictures reshared with sentimental captions, and even a private dinner planned by close family to remind them of the beginning of it all. Erica, on the other hand, is said to have made one final attempt to clear the air and apologized for how things had gotten out of hand, even though her intentions had been misinterpreted. Rather than being a big reconciliation, it was a subtle admission that too many emotions had been damaged for the narrative to remain flat. But the wounds were still apparent, and fans noticed a change: less public declarations, fewer indirect posts, and for the first time in weeks, the silence didn't feel like avoidance. Rather, it felt like a growing awareness that everyone involved desired tranquility more than validation. When the dust cleared and the headlines started to fade, what was left was more than just a tale of gifts, rumors, and betrayal. Healing, slow and fragile but real. It was a mirror held up to the realities of contemporary love under public scrutiny. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Erica had all discovered something painful but profound about how perception can distort reality, and the flat, which had once represented opulence and pride, had become a lesson about communication, openness, and the price of fame. After realizing that every viral post contains genuine feelings, tears, and repercussions, fans who had previously fueled the turmoil started to think about it as well. Perhaps nobody was completely, perhaps everyone was just human, juggling love, devotion, and ego in front of an unblinking audience. And even though the narrative might not have a happy conclusion, it serves as a reminder that harmony doesn't always arrive with closure. It occasionally occurs with approval. Thus, as we conclude this Atlanta's most talked about chapter saga, it's still unclear what have you done in their place. Would you pardon an error committed in the spotlight or leave to keep your peace? Let go. Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Let's discuss it. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Because if this anecdote demonstrates one thing, in the realm of reality stars, the reality is never as straightforward as it appears. Additionally, the following turn is always merely just one post away, is only one post away, is only one post away.